Did you know the Young Turks have 18 different shows? Become a TYT member and get all of them. Click the link in the description box below.
Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum had their latest Florida gubernatorial debate last night. And one of the issues that has sort of shaped a lot of the discussion about that race is race, actually. And Ron DeSantis' comments on that. They got into it during the debate on this topic, as you'll see.
On live TV in August, on the first day of the general election campaign, you said of Andrew Gillum's run for governor, quote, "The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by embracing a socialist agenda." Fox News quickly disavowed your words, saying, quote, "They do not condone the language." Now, you called some of this response absurd. You've made appearances at 4 of David Horowitz's Freedom Center events. Again, 4 separate times, 4 speeches. Among some of Mr. Horowitz's statements, quoting here, "This country's only serious race war is against whites." You know, I'll ask the questions. Okay. It's not a McCarthy game, and I'm giving it. Wait for the question, sir.
Okay.
He also said, if blacks are oppressed in America, why isn't there a black exodus? Now, in 2015, in your speech before the Freedom Center, you said of Mr. Horowitz, "David has done such a great work, and I've been an admirer. I've been to these conferences in the past, and I've been a big admirer of an organization that shoots straight, tells the American people the truth, and is standing up for the right thing." Those are his words. Here's my question.
He had not even made those statements then.
Yes, he had, sir. The first statement was made many years ago.
I mean, how the hell am I supposed to know every single statement somebody makes? I am not going to bow down to the altar of political correctness. I'm going to not let the media smear me like they like to do with so many other people.
Sir,
I'm certainly not going to take anything from Andrew Gillum, who's endorsed the Dream Defenders.
Okay, so I don't know if you were looking a little bit at Andrew Gillum during that, but he's smiling because he likes where it's going. I mean, look, that we could go through a list of the different things DeSantis has said, but what I like about what was focused on there was that he has a history of going around people and organizations that are white supremacist organizations and talking about how they're just straight shooters. And so that is sort of the history leading up to his race against Andrew Gillum now.
Right, so which kind of like leads into what Andrew Gillum said during the first debate, the last debate that he like smashed. You know, that I'm not calling you racist, I'm saying the racists like you. And this, the kind of the here, if you wanted to soften it, it's like, okay, maybe we're not calling you racist, but you work with admitted racists a lot.
Well, actually, why don't we go to his response?
Yes, can we play his response?
Yeah, it gets into what you were saying, as you'll see.
My grandmother used to say a hit dog will holler, and it hollered through this room. Mr. DeSantis has spoken. Hey, first of all, he's got neo-Nazis helping him out in this state. He has spoken at racist conferences. He's accepted a contribution and would not return it from someone who referred to the former president of the United States as a Muslim, Nigger. When asked to return that money, he said no. He's using that money to now fund negative ads. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
Mr. DeSantis.
And that was my mistake there because the two debates were so back to back that I got
Do we have a mic we can drop on his behalf?
But you would have to drop it over and over and over again because this was just that bad on one side and good on the other. His response to that donation, I mean, he was just kind of like, oh, he made a mistake. It's not a mistake that anyone could make, that you, if you're running to lead the state of Florida, you can't support somebody who makes the mistake of calling a former president of the United States the N-word.
Yeah.
Look,
it's just.
There's 2 parts. I mean, I first of all love Andrew Gillum. Think he's amazing. Think he's an incredible human being, an incredible leader, and will be great for the state of Florida. And I think he did 2 things. Made 2 incredibly important points there, or 2 things happened there that I want to point out. Right. One is, first of all, this conflation, that little thing that DeSantis tried to slip in there and attacking the Dream Defenders, to suggest that there is any way, shape, or form an equivalence between him cozying up repeatedly over and over again to David Horowitz and an express, we're not talking subtle. This is overt white supremacy. That's not a label I throw out easily. So that he did that over and over again, and then to try and equate that, which is what DeSantis slipped in there, to Andrew Gillum supporting an organization that is fighting racism in the state. This new clever thing that the right tries to do of like the people who are calling out racism are the real racists, like that don't fly. And I hope that the voting public sees through that. I also think, look, there's a long history here of exactly what DeSantis has done, of the Republicans trying to gin up fear and racial resentment among their white voting base with so-called racial dog whistles, where it's just subtle enough that nobody can point to it and say it's over, but the white voters know what they're hearing, and the ones who want to feel that something's being taken away from them, and they use that to stir up and provoke fear and hatred and resentment and motivate their base. And you know what? He got called on it. And maybe for some of those voters, they don't care. Maybe they're fine. They're happy with that. But I honestly think the people of Florida are better, and most people are better than that, and that they're going to be appalled. And I really hope that helps turn this tide, because people have to start rejecting not just him, but those politics.
Well, I guess related to that, the reason I wanted to talk about this, obviously it's a good line and all that. In terms of how it's going to influence the race going forward, we've got 12 days left. It's a relatively tight race. The closest poll that I saw yesterday had Gillum actually up by 5 points, but depending on when you look, it can go either way, and it's generally pretty close. So in terms of the strategy of making it clear to Florida voters that he's a racist, or at least very tight with white supremacists, or whether he's a racist, certainly racists think he's a racist.
Right.
And the strategy, which is somewhat linked together, of tying him very closely to Donald Trump. I believe in that section he called him a Trump acolyte, and he's trying to be like the next Trump. I mean, you've seen the advertisement of him building a wall with his kid.
His toddler.
Yeah, exactly, and reading him autobiographies written by Donald Trump. In terms of the ability to win an election, do you think that both of those strategies are right? Do you think that they will help and work in Florida?
I think that I understand why he thinks it will work, because we have seen it happen in the highest elected position in our land.
No, I'm saying Gillum tying him to Donald Trump, because Gillum seems to want to do that.
Oh, that will.
Will that help?
See, I don't think he's tying him to Donald Trump. I think he's just acknowledging that DeSantis is specifically tied himself to him.
Okay,
he had
certainly.
his toddler building a wall.
Yeah, his job has been very easy to do because of that advertisement.
Yeah, he's just kind of pointing it out. And you mentioned dog whistle. We are way beyond dog whistle times. This is not even calling this is walking over and picking Fido up. And petting, you know what I mean? We're beyond. Do you
this is dog cuddling whistle race. Anyway, no, and look, I mean, honest to God, I've stopped making predictions at this point.
Yeah.
Who the heck knows what the American people are crazy enough to do? I do think this strategy of appealing to your base as the future of politics, like there were 3 swing voters. I don't know what happened to them, but they're gone now. We don't talk to them anymore. And look, at least what I love is that when you look at Gillum, when you look at Beto O'Rourke, you're seeing Democrats at least try to appeal to their base with a message of hope and inclusion and positivity, and not all, but I think the best of the best, that's what they're doing. And you're seeing the Republicans try to appeal to their base by going lower and lower and lower in fomenting hatred, resentment, antagonism, fear, whether it's about immigrants or Muslims or black folks. And that I know our country isn't better than that, but I thought we were a little bit better than this, right? And so I'll tell you this, I damn well hope that it doesn't work, right? And that the strategy of not only hope and positivity, but inclusion and justice for all actually triumphs in that state. I don't know it will, but I hope.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.